What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another reaction video. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and all that. But for today's video, we are reacting to Deltarune Chapter 2, Gaster Pipis Eggs, Part 5. Now, this is going to be an interesting bit. Because, yeah. Did not think there was going to be a Part 5, but I'm actually curious what else could be in Chapter 2, because there's a lot of stuff that I did not know, and I'm honestly curious about that. So, with this said, let's start the video. But first, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when a new video comes out. If you have any videos that you want to recommend, leave it down in the comment section down below. Other than that, the link to this video will be down in the description below. So if you want to see this video uninterrupted, be sure to check that out. Also, give some love and support to the creator, that to Let Thumbs, for making this video. Because he deserves it for all the work he made and everyone else that helped him with it. So yeah, with all this said, I hope you'll enjoy, and I'll see. Let's see what we got.
This video is brought to you by my own rebooted Let's Play channel, Graham Games. They're short, highlights-focused videos, ideally presented in a way that every video is independently fun to watch, and you don't have to worry about keeping up with long-running series or anything like that. There's already plenty for you to watch over there, but the very next video I have planned is the first in a short series of videos where I cut up my 10-hour live stream of Deltarune Chapter 2 and make that feel a little bit more accessible. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe over there and look forward to yet more Deltarune content. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to more Gaster Eggs.
10 hours playing Deltarune. That must be kind of exhausting. No joke, that must be exhausting. Because you have to deal with all that editing that was made for 10 whole hours. That's crazy.
Immediately kicking off this episode, something I've received many comments about during this traffic jam sequence, where Undyne is over here just bench pressing cars. Then yes, we do hear Metal Crusher at the end, but there is more to it. I'm gonna let it really speak for itself. You know, me talking over it's not really gonna contribute to that in any way. So you know what? I'll keep my mouth shut for one of the first times in several hours worth of videos. Sure, many will appreciate that.
Yeah, that's annoying. Are those things really playing all those themes just like that? Just seriously? Really? That's what they're doing. That's pretty random, but okay.
I was fully prepared with this episode to basically start back at the top of the game and go through looking.
That's kind of insane to actually hear all this. Like, seriously, what? That's a big surprise, in my opinion, because I just thought they were just regular,
For things that you
like,
guys had specifically
car
pointed out in
horns.
the comments. Turns out I was moving away from hometown a little hastily. We gotta mess around with some things at the end point of this game after having completed the cyber world, moving through the hometown. Donut Guy in this car mentions speeding over when he heard that a dog was doing donuts. I just learned donuts is actually the name of a special attack for cars. Why is my life stuck in a loop of doughy disappointment? This is also seemingly a direct callback to events in Undertale. Previously buying a disgusting spider donut. I ended up buying a donut. I didn't want to, but that girl, even though I told her no, she kept staring at me in this creepy way and licking her lips. Now I'm out of cash. Building off what I had explored previously with the
That's
class is reading.
That's rough, man. You got scammed out of your own money. I think. It honestly sounds like someone scammed them. I don't know if that's true or not, but it honestly just sounds like he's been scammed. So I'm gonna say he's been scammed because the way it's referenced does not give any indication that it was it was something simple
Back in Deltarune Chapter 1,
as,
there are
you know,
141 actual rooms. They're ordered as such within the game files, but there are a few others that are empty rooms, or ones made for developer testing or special features. You know, quickly access workshop battles, test bugs, things like that. There is technically a secret room 142. This is not readily apparent in the file names, but that's right, the hidden forest area where we're handed the egg in Chapter 1 is our technical room 142. So that number isn't random. Toby very much knew what he was doing there. Obviously, with cutscenes in Chapter 1, there's a lot of unavoidable interactions, but if at the end of that chapter back in the hometown you never go and visit Alfie's up in the back alley, then, you know, pardon my pun, she's left entirely in the dark, doesn't really know what happened with Chris and Susie. Leads to a new bit of dialogue in this opening scene. Oh, Chris, are you okay? You were sleeping all class. Don't worry, I'm not mad, I'm just concerned. Usually you only sleep through the start. Chris, where did you and Susie go yesterday? If you don't want to tell me, that's okay. I was just really worried about you. If Susie causes you any trouble, then okay, I can't really do anything. But I'm looking out for you, okay? In the very opening part of the game, we have the dummy doll from that opening tutorial off to the...
Yeah, doesn't really seem important in my eyes, but go ahead, do what you want.
The right. No one's looking. Hug the dummy? Hug. You hugged the dummy. Nothing wrong with a little extra fluffiness in your life. If after doing so we talk to Ralsei, he's visibly blushing. Sorry, just thinking. Perhaps we don't need that dummy anymore. Maybe you could just use the real thing? After everyone has been brought...
Oh, that's a... What? Wait, how does he know about the dummy? That's so strange.
Back to the castle town, we have a few additional characters who have joined up off to the side here. This character in Chapter 1, and again now, specifically refers to us as horsies, which, you know, has some interesting implications, seeing as how the horse in chess is, in fact, the knight? You can read into that precisely as much as you personally choose. This worm is here, munching on the dummy. Without trees, I must gain nutrients by eating clothes. Such is the way of the worm. Looks like the clothes are...
Well, not wrong. Because I think worms do that. If necessary.
Nibbled.
I could be wrong.
No, thanks. Don't bother. It tastes awful. Susie? It's a mannequin dressed in poor taste. You know, it tastes poor, non-fashionable. There's layers to that one. Take a bite? Yes. You put your mouth against the mannequin's cheek. Chris? Don't bother. It tastes awful. And Susie? And it's a mannequin dressed in poor taste. If at the end of the game we talk to Sham with a town full of recruits. There are many fresh faces in town, I see. It warms this old fluff to see such hope. I was even surprised to see the Queen again. Same as ever. Well, aren't we all? And again, if we talk to them, those three young musical men are talking about setting up a shop here. I'm sure you'd appreciate having an option other than me. By the by, it's growing late, isn't it? You should hurry home once you finish your business here. You don't want to get caught when the sun goes down.
It's creepy how he knows what's going on. And it's confusing on how he knows all this stuff.
Which, in a world of darkness, I kind of wonder. And following up on that comment, then yeah, these three guys actually have set up a little shop among several other NPCs who have come to hang out. We have the little nostril-eyed horse character who even brought a small part of the board with them. There are a few others down here, and the clothes were moved so the worm can no longer nibble. Now instead, at the end, it's been moved over onto this mannequin, which will actually occur whether or not you actually bought the mannequin earlier in the game. Many of these interactions are essentially unmissable, so I'm not gonna read all those. But a fun bit of dialogue on a second interaction with this dummy. If Noelle was here, she'd probably dress it up like a Christmas tree. Why am I thinking about that anyway? Yo, Chief, if you recruit enough fans for us, we might be able to make our music shop again. Hey, we might even give you a discount. This town's great. Just wish everyone else was here too. I got to keep my box. You hear that, Chief? Keep up the recruiting. If you had instead recruited every possible character, there will be a proper shop here. Venturing inside their music shop. Welcome to the music room. We don't sell anything. And we have a payoff to Lancer as an item. We get to show off his squashy sound that he's used in his rooms or when interacting with him in our menu. They simply respond, good song. Considering they specifically create 4-second long songs, it's no surprise that they enjoy this one. See ya, smell ya, hear ya. After carrying everyone from the supply closet before...
That's an interesting bit of detail.
Really really starting Chapter 2 properly. We have this Bloxer with an extra pair of pants? I like being like this. Don't tell anybody. And if you manage to specifically add this secret car recruit, train at the party dojo? Ha! We'll make our own dojo for introverts. And with a full set of recruits, there is yet another pair of pants.
What the frick? Why that many pairs of... You know what? No. I don't think I'll ever understand the logic here.
Bringing this guy up to 5. I've been training. Don't ask what I've been training, though. Are you impressed? And honestly, yes, I am. Very, very much so. Good for you, bud. When inspecting the posters in the computer lab at the end of the Cyber World sequence. Pretty typical interaction to begin with. And on the second time, you suddenly thought about how your day might have been different if the poster with that orange cat was still on the wall. This is a reference to a real-world motivational poster that was popular around the 90s of this cat trying to just hang in there. Maybe your day would have been much more different if you had simply listened to the wise words of this one cat. We have Chief Undyne and Deputy Napstabluke. Within the police station, we have the entirety of the dog guards locked up, seemingly now criminals instead, a complete reversal of their prior role. We're the infamous dog burglars, the wet-nosed bandits. Obviously a play on the idea of a cat burglar, but also a reference to Home Alone, which had the wet bandits who always turned on taps after knocking a place over. We have this vase of well-cared-for flowers, potentially a holdover from when Asgore was a part of the police force, showing that even back then he had a bit of a green thumb. When you interact with Alfie's just outside of the police station, she describes an accident she had on her bike, working her way around describing what actually happened. Essentially, it seems as though she was distracted by Undyne and managed to simply crash it. There's an extra...
Yeah. The two lovebirds. Always... doing what they usually do. I guess. I don't know. I honestly didn't know where I'm going with this conversation. I'm just saying.
Cutscene to be found inside the police station. When you talk to Undyne, you have two options. You can choose to say nothing without any risk of cutting yourself off from other dialogue options. Nothing to report, huh? At times like this, punks like you should be home playing video games. If you specifically tell her about the Dark World. Huh? A super dangerous alternate world in the library? More are appearing? People might fall inside? Listen, punk. You seriously think I'm gonna believe that? Dark World. Starts banging on the desk. Seriously? Until they accidentally break the desk in half. The key flies into the door. And who, you may ask?
I think I did that actually. That was mentioned before.
Let the dog
Yeah, I think I did it before.
I'll let the courts determine that. Hey, wait! Yeah, not again! Looks like I gotta go recapture those criminals. Hey, by the way, that yellow glasses lady, she your teacher? She kinda had an accident earlier with her bike. Just wanted to make sure she was feeling better. So, give her this. You got a heart-shaped box of candies that says, "Get well soon." It has "To your bike" hastily scrawled underneath the "Get well soon." Look, "Get well soon's" all the store had. Open it and I'll arrest you. Look, I'll even put a note on it. Now stop interrupting me. I gotta go. You got the previously described box of candy with a note on it. If after this we talk to Napstablook, oh, jailbreak. I'll sound the alarm. This is actually
You're a hilarious,
a
Napstablook.
reworked version of Pathetic House, which was the song that played within Napstablook's house in Undertale. I made the jailbreak alarm my mixtape. It's a nice beat to study or relax to while you escape from prison, which is just kind of a reference to the somewhat memey idea of the fact that people would share playlists of songs to study or relax.
Sadly, that's not untrue.
Now, I was starting to think
It's actually pretty true.
Crappy Valentine's candies, but when giving it to Alfie's, it specifically says chocolates. There are several things we can do with this box of chocolates. Obviously, you can just throw it on the ground. There's nothing too interesting there. The info on it, it's not yours. Will that stop you? Keep in mind that we've specifically been shown multiple times across both chapters that Chris really likes chocolate. The Choco Diamond in the Dark World heals Chris more than anyone else. Toriel has to hide chocolate kisses away from them. Asriel and Chris would go and get hot chocolates together at QC's diner. This is a recurring...
Yeah, the chocolate thing isn't going anywhere. It's literally a recurring theme.
Eating this box of chocolates, you unhesitatingly devoured the box of heart-shaped candy. Your guts are being destroyed. You accept this destruction as part of life. And Chris actually takes 1 heart damage. They're that bad. Either that, or it's yet more evidence that Chris isn't necessarily themselves at this moment. Now, if you want to be a little less greedy,
Jeez.
Chris, you can give the box of chocolates to Alfie's. Huh, Chris, do you have something for me? You could say I want to hoard the chocolate. Okay, don't know why I thought that, which it is kind of weird to assume. But if you give the chocolate... Chris, what is that you're giving me? A box of heart-shaped chocolates? Whoa, no, I can't accept that from you. What? It's from the police? You mean she's giving me this? Get well soon gift to my bike? And there's a note on this that says, "Open this and I'll arrest you, you little punk." Chris, tell her I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd say that all played off exactly as intended. No mixed messaging whatsoever.
I think so. Honestly, it just sounds natural for the two of them. I don't think anyone can disagree about that. It's just how they roll.
Within Sans' shop, there are a bunch of cards and heart-shaped chocolates. Get well soon. I'm glad your bike crashed. Kinda doesn't give you a lot to work with, does it? If you rejoin Susie and try to use the chocolates in front of her. Whoa, Chris, where the hell did you get that? Someone gave it to you? Yeah, right, you stole it, didn't you? Well, come on. Let's eat it and hide the evidence. You and Susie shared the heart-shaped box of candies. Both of you had a feeling in your chest, ow, my stomach, that you shouldn't have eaten all of it. And finally, you can take them to Sans' shop. What? A heart-shaped box of chocolates? Oh, I get it. Wow, you're really... All right. Okay. You want to make a return on these, don't you? Okay. No need to break my heart. Here's $5. You traded the chocolates for $5.
We could do that? That would have been very helpful to know. Jeez.
The magazine racks. There are some car magazines on the racks. It might be fun to look at them. But there's other people around. Which, by the way, I've started combing through your guys' comments to find some of these specific hidden details like this one. It took me something like 12 hours to comb through the first 4,000 comments. There's a reason YouTubers kind of typically stop responding to comments at a certain point, but it's a pleasure to do it here because it just is so fun to work through this together, and then we have all this extra details to make new videos. It's a win-win-win, and as often as I can, if I find a comment where specifically only one person shared that detail as far as I could see, or they explained it better than anyone else, I'm gonna try and give credit to them for sharing. So yeah, here's some credit for the discovery of this specific secret. If you interact with it again, it's a fluffy dog magazine. The inside has samples like fragrance ads, but it's all different dog fur for you to touch. Hey, don't hog the ads. And if you repeatedly interact, you won't ever actually get the car magazine interaction again. This is a reference to Undertale. Characters around that world, specifically within Snowdin, will talk about Sans taking a job as a sentry, but that he's never actually really doing his job, and that he's constantly caught simply reading car magazines. So the idea of you trying to sneak a peek at a car magazine in Sans' own shop creates this funny layered reference. If you do not inspect the soda machine, good idea. People put their mouth on those, you know? What? They do, right? In Chapter 1, I had thought that this was a reference to a silly gag in Parks and Recreation where the citizens of Pawnee like to put their mouth over top of the spouts of water fountains. But now, considering this has come up twice, it weirdly seems like in Chapter 1, it was simply a setup for this eventual punchline. I always have to wonder, to what extent is Toby giving things that amount of forethought? Or if he's just really committed to going back through his own game and paying off as many things as possible. The warrior character who was previously put up in the hospital at the end of Chapter 1 is now back hard at work smashing dough. It seems like he was in the hospital with his hands bandaged up because he's punching this boiling hot sauce over and over all day. There is also a scene in the basement that will also only take place if you had specifically recruited everyone. You may have bested me, but you'll soon face someone more fearsome, more tyrannical than you could ever imagine. Queen? We already met her. What? Wow, nice hamster wheel. So, you too have come to humiliate me. No, I'm serious, it's cool. That water bottle, however, do not...
I think I already run over this number 4. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I'm 98% sure about that. Yeah, I believe so.
Speak of the royal water bottle. It's nothing compared to the one at my mansion. Materialistic as always. Materialism evaluation denied. I simply give myself the treatment I deserve. You slept curled up on a dirty throne every day. Enough, wench. What purpose have you here, Queenie Beanie? Just thought I would send a message, Kingy Wingy, that you don't have to worry about Lancer. I will be looking after him from now on. After all, I am his mother. When was that decided? Arbitrarily, right now. Do what you please with the boy, but if he cries, bounce him on the ground like a ball. I think it is time to abort this conversation. As you wish. Oh, quite sorry, mine king. Queen hath a new man about town now. Who? Yeah, who? I think I left my puzzle on. Post haste. Who was that? Oh, that was my son's lesser father. Cannot calculate someone less than you. Be gone. Bye-bye, Kingy Wingy.
Huh.
By the way, did you want anything from the store? Cashews. Order processed.
That was freaking awkward. There's no way to deny that. That was awkward. Even I felt awkward. And I'm not even in, and I didn't even experience that. It just felt awkward.
We have nothing to discuss. And if you try to visit the king when you had not recruited everyone, talk to you? Ha! You left them behind, didn't you? Just as you left us. Be gone. And there's nothing else to be said, although he does appear to have a sweet, sweet pile of moss up in the corner there. I don't know, looks pretty good to me. I also just love this weird gag down in the basement where everyone remained locked up, but all the card kings and queens are now dressed as animals, whereas the animal crackers are now all wearing crowns. It's cultural exchange.
That's a strange thing. Everything here's been so strange. But, I guess it makes sense.
On this top floor, Lancer and the Queen are hanging out together, being fanned by Rudin, same as Chapter 1, and hanging out in the lawn or beach chairs that Lancer and Susie also had in Chapter 1, which themselves tie all the way back to the original Undertale Kickstarter. Susie, Chris, Toothpaste Boy. Queen is teaching me all sorts of things about being a bad guy. She's like, how do I put this? A third father to me. A girl dad, if you will. You mean a mom? Go outside and play, Peach Boy. Peach Boy, Peach Boy. Welcome. This entire castle is now my room. I was gonna set up something upstairs. Why? I already have everything I could ever want. Friendship, fans, and a small round boy. Now go and play with your friends, Peach Boy. Peach Boy, Peach Boy. Chris, do give Noelle my regard.
It's hilarious that after everything, they're just relaxing on two chairs. Seriously, a callback from Chapter 1.
Any leftover regards you can give to Birdly. I keep ending up in this situation. Can't say I'm a fan, or can I? Down at the graveyard, we can talk to...
I mean, technically you can. Because you're fanning everyone. So I guess you really are a big fan. Huh?
To Father Alvin. If you ask specifically about Asriel. Chris, your brother, he's a very kind young man. Perhaps even a little overzealous in his younger days?
I think everyone mentioned that in Undertale, but yeah.
He would visit me often to confess to various sins, despite the absence of sin or confession in our religion. I remember his small face sobbing as he admitted he had dropped the lizard in the pit to jump high, nearly omitting the fact that he had done so in a videos game. He also confessed to various sins on your behalf, begging for forgiveness for dropping the lizard on purpose. I would always forgive him and send him home. It adds a little bit more to the characters to know that Chris has maybe always been a little bit sinister, maybe even beyond some of the more recent implications and oddities surrounding the character. But obviously the idea of dropping the lizard into the pit to jump higher comes from the Mario games, where you could ride around on Yoshi and drop them to get a little extra height. It also adds an extra little bit to the fact that Toriel has specifically told
Oh, right. I just remembered that Mario game. Honestly, I understand the strategy, but sometimes it's sad to actually kind of do that to poor old Yoshi.
that Azrael basically was a Yoshi main in Smash Bros. Or pardon me, Super Smashing Fighters. And so it must have especially cut him deep to think of dropping his little Yoshi pal down into that pit. As you walk away from the graveyard, you heard Alvin mumbling to himself as he walked away. Were you proud of me, father? And is it right for this hammer to... If you come back, there is no additional dialogue, but there are so many interesting implications about Gerson as a character, and it ties in so much to this world at large. It adds yet more to this analogous storytelling that's present across these two games. Nothing is the same in these separate universes of Deltarune and Undertale, but there are always specific details that connect them. This guy next to me, he's really bulked up. I admire that. I don't know if you do that. Bulking up for the winter? Which this character is basically a skinny version of Aaron seen in Undertale, a character whose entire thing was bulking up as much as possible. We can talk to Braddy up in the alleyway, who goes on and on about specifically hating Caddy and not getting along with them. A character that we had seen once working in a library, now suddenly entirely hates libraries. The pair of royal guards who were a couple in Undertale are now brothers. We no longer have Jerry, but instead Terry, the shopkeeper from Snowden, now working at the cafe. This character who used to walk around their little cinnamon bun now talks about their brother being too old to take for walks anymore. Right now it sounds like I'm just sharing without any real details, but I'm doing so to set up something very important that I'll talk about in just 1 minute here. It's all theory fodder, just you wait and see. Gerson was both a historian and some form of educator in both worlds. In Undertale, prior to this, he was a hero himself, known as the Hammer of Justice. Now in Deltarune, he was a smith by trade who began writing stories and teaching children, known for his popular fictional series, Lord of the Hammer. Alvin now tells us that Gerson is actually buried here with his hammer. And as we leave, Alvin mutters that it maybe is incorrect that the hammer is buried there with him. And when speaking to Alvin specifically about the hammer, he discusses the connection.
That's a bit deep, to be honest. I don't know about you, but it sounds pretty deep to me. But yeah, the connection, spiritual sense, it's pretty meaningful and a bit deep.
Between spirit and the divine, and how Gerson became a storyteller as a means to entertain his children, that such a story created for such a simple purpose could blossom into such a large, wonderful, world-changing thing. That is the majesty of words, Chris. Which may just be a little meta-commentary of Toby expressing how honored he is that these games have taken on such a life of their own. So we seemingly both have this thank you coming directly from Toby. But extrapolating it even further, theorizing more than I usually do in these videos, we can see the different ways that everything has been shifted, changed, and reinterpreted for the context of the world of Deltarune, which itself matches with the way that dark worlds are created within this game. The entirety of Chapter 1 is based on the game pieces found in that storage room.
Not wrong.
Chapter 2 is themed around outdated computers and tech from within the library. It even includes specific
I don't think it's outdated. Well, at least, probably not by that timeline standards, but still.
Poster of a Ferris wheel on the wall. This idea of worlds, connections, interpretations, storytelling, history, it all layers quite deeply throughout the entire series, both games, both chapters. And seemingly, Gerson is an incredibly important character to both, being the one who specifically teaches us about the Deltarune in Undertale. I just need to throw all that out there. It's very much the starting point of some further theorizing that can come after, and I think we could reach so much deeper beyond that. I would love to see you guys riff on that little bit of storytelling and comboing of little fragmented ideas. It wasn't enough for its own video, so I'm using it as a bit of a wrap-up point here. Oh man, I think the discussion is going to be good. I'm going to ask you guys one more time to go check out Graham Games. I'm really happy with how it's coming together. If you like shorter, more quickly edited content, hopefully, filled with laughs, then I think you'll enjoy that. I'll have links down below, comments, description, all that good stuff. Now, something I want to bring up before closing out this video, something that was a well-loved component of Undertale, is how often you can backtrack and get new dialogue from NPCs. That wasn't really present in Chapter 1, but is actually something that comes up quite frequently in Chapter 2. I don't know if showing...
Is that true? I don't remember if that's the case.
Every possible branching, differing bit of dialogue for backtracking to every character is worthwhile. Some of it's pretty interesting, a lot of it is throwaway gags, a bunch more of it is just kind of random nothings. But, that might be kind of in line with what people like out of this series, and in that case, yeah, I can go back and do that. But I'm really throwing that up in the air for now. There are other secrets and references and things that...
I mean, right there, I guess, but is there others? I don't know if that's true or not.
Legitimately could fill out a 6th episode. It's just insane, and I have you guys to thank for digging up so many additional secrets. But yeah, that's one I'm on the fence about. Don't know if I should include, you'll have to let me know. The crazy thing is, I thought here was going to be where I started pulling from your guys' suggestions more heavily. I barely have still, but I already have a document that is filled with things that came from those 4,000 comments. So there is so easily going to be at least one more of these videos. It's mind-blowing. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you for sharing your comments and helping me through this process. We're all in it together. Thank you to patrons of the channel for their additional support, and I hope to see you all again soon.
Now that was an interesting bit, to say the least. Okay. Honestly, I don't really know that much about the whole backtrack. I know you can do that in the Queen's Castle, but I don't know if that's something you can truly do everywhere. I don't remember Chapter 2 by its fullest. Considering I don't backtrack a lot, but still. The only time I really backtracked was to fight Spamton. At least in a general sense, I think. Honestly, this seems like a recollection of past stuff. Except for the King and Queen talk. That's actually a bit interesting. Because, the way they're making it sound like Lancer is and isn't their child, and they are and aren't married, and it's a confusing bit, but I find it really interesting because of all that dialogue. So yeah, interesting thing. But yeah. Tell me what caught your interest, or what you think is a highlight here, because I think it's the King and Queen talking to each other. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when a new video comes out. Other than that, again, the link will be down in the description below. But yes, other than that, once again, hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!